Dispatch Quebec 4 to fire at Mamobi.
Hotel Quebec.
Dispatch Quebec 4 to fire
Of
fire at Mamobi. You'd see the speed at which they'll come. You see? So they are inside, they are the crew room.
Mamobi near the National Mall.
So well, as we're speaking now, there is a fire outbreak in Mamobi.
Exactly.
And luckily today we are at the Ghana National Fire Service head office. We get to see the prompt responses that the Ghana National Fire Service will use to attend to this. Let's see.
So that's the officer in charge, okay. And that's the crew. So you see, they just gave them the fire, and this day responded. But you realize that they are going to all the way to Mamobi from here. So they are mounting appliance. Yeah, so this is the rescue vehicle. That's why this one is not going. This is the firefighting one. So now they're on their way. So this live action for you. So this how. So immediately and realize that it's less than 5 minutes, and they were inside. It's not like they are out here with us seeing the camera here.
Welcome back to Personality Profile, and today is quite a special package for you because I totally believe that by the time we're done with this conversation, you'd have learned a lot, if not about this personality, which you may have seen a lot on TV or probably at a fire scene. Then you're going to be learning a thing or two of how to stay safe out there when there is a fire. So welcome, and my name is Emefa Adeti, and today thank you so much for joining us, ADO1 Alex King Nartey. If I sleep and I wake up, I can even remember your name because we have had countless conversations, especially when there is a fire. And today we thought that why not? Every day the man behind the uniform, and then the man that would always be at the scene when there's a fire, recording the videos and all of that. Why not? Let's get to know him better. And so today we want to know, how long have you been a firefighter?
So almost 5 years.
Okay.
Almost 5 years. Fortunately, because of my qualification, I came in straight as a senior officer, and I believe in breaking the corner where I find myself. So that informed my decision with even the happening now. It was something I coined out myself, and I checked with my boss because I realized that people have huge misconceptions about the Ghana National Fire Service. So I felt, okay, why don't I do a video, try to bring people closer to what we see, the work we do, get people to see how the job is like. And then also it's a form of education for them to come to terms with the reality that fires happen so that equally they can protect themselves.
Well, we like it. We like that you keep us updated.
People were bashing us, especially after the unfortunate incident at East Legon. You know, but yes, we keep on learning and improving. So I think after that there was another accident I went to, and this time around I found ways around it.
You were going to put out and what you put out. Right. I mean, did you set out to want to be a firefighter?
Funny enough, no. So my late father was a police officer. My mom is a police officer. She'll be retiring, I think, from next month. Yes, Chief Inspector Florence Nartey. So, two of my brothers were also police officers. My auntie, my grandfather. It was like a family business. So, I had actually wanted to join the police. So I tried and tried and tried. My dad used to drive the former IGP, Mohammed Al-Hassan. So the man also tried to help, but it didn't go through. I was a bit broken-hearted. So the fire service was actually by accident. You know, but I always say that in life, some of the best things in life come as a result of an accident. And trust me, I now understand why God didn't let me get into the police.
You were not qualified for it, or what was the reason? Do you by chance know why you were unable to make it into the police service?
Unfortunately, I don't know why. Because I had sent, even before they had the police TV, I had even written a proposal to the police service to establish a TV station, the kind of programming on the TV station and all, you know, based on my experience and education in TV production. So I did a comprehensive document. I'm sure it will still be there, you know, stating the fact that they need to film their peacekeeping and everything. So as to why I didn't get it, I guess maybe it was all part of God's plan for me to come to the Ghana National Fire Service and then, you know, contribute my quota.
At least police, fire service,
I'm
and now you're
still
fighting it.
uniform.
Yes. But so 5 years ago, so prior to that 5 years, what were you doing?
So prior to that one, I was into production. And believe it or not, I was an Uber driver.
Okay.
Bolt. I was driving Bolt, doing photography. So I was the official photographer for Legon Botanical Gardens for over 5 years. I worked with KSM as his producer for Thank God It's Friday. I started Riverman Productions with Uncle Bo White in 2008. I worked at Famous Films as a producer. I worked with Metro TV Soccer Academy. I did location management for Pascal Laka Crisato.
I see.
I directed my own TV show, Logoligi. Okay, so one other thing, so I shot, directed and edited former President Rawlings's last ever interview he did before he died.
I see.
With Asasi Radio.
Let's take it. Maybe we should start the production conversation from that point. How did you get that gig? We call it the gig. Yes. How did you get that gig?
So I've always maintained relationships with people. So Cyrus the Graf Johnson, I'm sure he's a legend even at Joy FM. So he got me that gig. He was working with Accra Brewery. So I did some jobs for Accra, some documentary, and then also some other videos for Accra Brewery. So that's when he got into contact. He liked the way I work. So when he went to Asasi, he realized that I work very well, and then he got me that gig. And true to my words, I didn't disappoint him.
Oh, I see.
So Voltic, I've done jobs for Voltic. I was the official photographer for years. Whenever they had any events, and Joyce Ahiadome was very good, helping me get that gig. And those were the gigs that sustained Charlie, a boy that had completed school and was hustling to find jobs. You try here, it doesn't work. You try here, it doesn't work. You be doing and production job. Sometimes it's not too sustainable.
Yeah, especially if you're not tied to a particular entity.
Exactly,
you're
and I also don't want to be
freelancing.
tight.
Right.
I didn't want to be tight.
Very typical of a man.
Charlie, because if you have a night gig somewhere that's paying you maybe what you'd have taken for the whole month somewhere with just one job, then your boss will tell you don't go.
Well, so what was the experience like filming ex-President Rawlings, that interview? That interview was quite an intense one. Some of us that followed that interview. For you, you dealt with the raw footage. And so you actually decided that this will go out and this will not go out. That's interesting.
It was very interesting.
How up close you went with it. How was it?
It was very interesting. That was my first time I got so close to him. I've done interviews. I've interviewed people and I don't even remember some, but my interview with him was one that I'll never forget. He was such a pleasant man. While we were shooting, be like, you people should stop and find some banku to eat. He gave us we had a jolly ride on his boat, chilling. We had so much to drink. Went to his riverside house at Tifle, very beautiful place. And when I heard of his death, I was very heartbroken. And he was such a very lovely man. And that encounter of filming him is one of the memories I'll take to my grave.
Oh, do you still have some of the raw footages?
Unfortunately, no. But I have I had to do like three edits. So I have the first edit, second edit, and the final edit.
Okay.
I have all of them still there.
Yeah, but for a fireman who's talking production is just curious. I'm just curious about that. Let's go to how it all started for you. How did you get into production?
So growing up, I was fascinated by the camera. I think the first time I met a production crew, I was then staying at the Cantonment Police Barracks. And some people came to shoot, and I saw the camera. I was so fascinated. So growing up, I wanted to go into production. So I remember when I hear of any audition somewhere, I go there, they chop my money. They chop my money. You pay for audition fee. Charlie, you go for rehearsal.
Well, you probably was not good enough to be picked. Do you think about that?
Charlie, the productions never came out. You go for rehearsal, so you see, the thing if they pick you or they don't pick you, the money, you don't see the production, but you pay for the audition fee.
I understand.
You pay for this, but I think I was good because my first major acting gig I landed was with Uncle White.
Okay.
Yes,
That must be some, because that's a higher standard.
That's a high standard. So, you know, for me to get on that stage means that I did try small.
Right.
You know, so it was, Mr. President, your move. And I was supposed to be a very bad friend to the president. You know, backbiter. Naturally, I'm not like that.
The man is justifying the role he played.
tell you,
the role that he took the money and spent.
And I was so bad to the extent that I think the day that I was not acting, I was at the gate one day when a Chinese man was entering the gate. When he saw me at the gate, you bad man, bad man, bad. So I
because
didn't
he
remember.
watched the play and he can't let it go. Then you must be good at it. So you were telling me how your love for production started.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I then had to. So when I completed secondary school, I initially wanted to go to NAFTI, but one of my mother's brothers scared the hell out of me by saying that, hey, that school, to get admission, his son has applied 5 times, he didn't get, so me I won't get. So at the point I was like, okay, fine, let me go to GIJ first.
Okay.
So I went to GIJ to do my diploma in media communication studies.
Oh.
Yes. So it was during that time that I got to meet KSM. So I'll come back to this story. So my experience with KSM was so interesting. When I was done with my first year at GIJ on vacation, actually, I was trying to look for a job. So I remember I went to Vibe FM at Pyramid House. There are things I can never forget. And then I saw KSM at the stairs. So just there by impulse, I told him, oh boss, I admire you. I'd love to work with you. Funny enough, I had not even, I'd seen him on TV, but it had never crossed my mind to work for him before. So I told him, and he was like, okay, meet me at Metro TV the next day. I was at Metro TV, and he told me that he's looking for an assistant producer. So I should write a proposal of the kind of guest I'll bring on the show. And for him, that night I didn't sleep. I started writing, and I went to meet him at Metro TV and gave it to him. You know, and the things I wrote was giving him extraordinary characters, people that people would never see before.
You didn't even have to put a name on that list.
No.
It was just a description.
Just a description of people that, you know, we're tired of seeing the known faces, people who had extraordinary stories to tell. So one day I remember I had gone to my alma mater, my secondary school, and I was talking to the drama students, and then I had a call. I picked up, I was like, the usual hello. And I was like, yeah, this KSM. I was trembling. Like, hey, KSM is calling me. You know, and then he told me that he was impressed with my proposal, so we should meet. And I don't know if it was a test. He told me to meet him at Golden Tulip. I waited for about 3 to 4 hours before he came. Maybe testing my
patience.
My patience.
Were you genuinely calm in that 3 hours?
Charlie, for a big man like that, you have to be calm. For a big man like that, and prior to that, I was a pupils teacher. I used to teach Kwekuba across children, a home teacher. So up to now, some people still call me teacher.
So, wait, hang on. So you were still in GIJ, trying to work with KSM, still tutoring young children at some point.
Exactly.
Hey.
No, and then when I was off, I was working as a waiter also in restaurants. You know, Charlie, and I've been a butler, washing bowls. So when KSM, I waited. KSM came, and then he asked me that he wants to work with me. How much will I charge him? I was like, this is big goal. How much will I charge? At the time I was studies teacher. I remember I was taking 40 CDs here, 40 CDs here, 80 CDs a month. So I was like, no, I think, and so I was like, Charlie, this one. So I think God gave me, I almost mentioned 500 or so, but I didn't. So I told him that, oh, I'm still a student, so anything he will give me. Charlie, the man gave me more than so when he told me how much you pay me, I was like, as if, I had to play, but I was happy. But I had to, play the steel small as if I was not really impressed with it. So I took it, and that was like one of the first big money I got. So working with KSM.
How much was it?
I think that time it was 800 cedis.
How many years ago? Let's do the math.
That was 2006.
That's some good money.
Yes. 800 cedis, I think.
Some good money. And how long did you work with KSM?
I worked with KSM for I think 2 years. But even after we stopped working, we were still cool. I was still giving him a guest. He loved the guest I brought.
When did you stop working?
So I think the demands of my school.
Okay.
I went to night school. His office was at East Legon. I was then doing my diploma at GIJ. So the time I would have to close from school, rush back was crazy. And so it became difficult. And so right after that, I decided to go to NAFTI to do my degree. So at NAFTI too, Charlie, it was not easy. NAFTI, we were doing about 18 subjects in the first year. And it was crazy. It was crazy.
How was life for you in NAFTI then?
Life for me in NAFTI was difficult. Because then I go to NAFTI from morning, close at 3, by 4, I have to be at GIG for lectures. And then you can be writing exams here, and then the next day you have exams here. 18 subjects here, 10 subjects. So I was learning 28 subjects at a go. And it was not easy. It was not easy. And so I was able to do the GIG, get past it, get my diploma there, went to NAFTI. That one I was a good boy. That time.
Was it rewarding? Was it rewarding to be a good boy?
It was rewarding because then at least I became the SRC president.
Look at that.
I became the SRC president back at NAFTI, and then I didn't repeat that mistake again. Going forward, I've never even repeated that mistake again because and I thank God for that experience.
And so it was NAFTI that brought to bear your production bits.
Exactly.
What did you study particularly in NAFTI?
TV production.
Okay.
So
I think we now understand why he does well with sitting on TV. My goodness. Okay.
Well, actually, for people who majored in TV production, 3 of my colleagues, our supervisor back then, Madam Anas, she had a way of teaching. If you're in the TV studio, she would be hitting your back. Do you like the shot you're seeing? Check your headroom. And about 2 of my mates were a bit older. So Charlie, they couldn't stand. And there was another guy who was smallish. The thing they bore him.
Right.
So they shifted to do documentary.
Okay.
But I was the only one that stuck to do the TV production. So they were laughing at me that the woman is my girlfriend.
So that's how you were able to stay in your production lane to even do the last very memorable production.
And while I was there, I bought my first camera. My dad's school fees, I put Chobo Small on top to add up to my
is he watching?
It's late, that's why I'm saying it. So that's when I bought my first camera. So the first camera, I was there just shooting for people. I had the camera now, so I was just eager to shoot. And that is what helped me improve. There are things that if I don't understand, I ask people, Charlie, I did internet say. And so that's how I learned, and then I gradually improved, built contacts, and then when I do works for people, where I go wrong and they I tell them, oh, give me another chance, I'll improve. And I've had people that I work with.
And so now you're both a firefighter and also into production.
Yes.
And how are you juggling the two?
It's not easy. It's not easy. I hardly sleep because sometimes when I close from work, I have to go and edit weddings. And one thing I like shooting is funerals. There's money inside. A lot of
I didn't see that coming. Why?
A lot of people are scared of the dead.
Oh, tell me why genuinely you're not afraid.
I think I have a clear conscience. I didn't kill him.
I would have thought you'd say maybe because you've worked around.
At that time, I had not even started the firefighting. Yes, like the funeral one. Charlie, the job that people be running away from, that's the one I wanted. So there are instances it's left with me alone with the dead body in the room. I'll do photo shoot for the dead body.
So
I'll do photo shoot.
Do you have any memorable experience of any dead body that she was shooting?
A lot too. A lot. Like I see the dead bodies, and sometimes I have to just go close, shoot the hand, shoot the face, take pictures, take videos. I've shot a lot. I think I've shot more than 10 funerals.
And for you, shooting a dead body, especially a body lying in state, what are some of the things that you thought about during those times?
When I'm there, I'm like, one, the money. I'm in a hurry to go and collect my money. And then 2, I feel like it takes me to the reality that life is frail, life is transient. This person, especially as I've seen the dead body, and then I'll be reading the person's biography, and then you get to, it's some way. Some way. People don't like shooting dead bodies. Some people have. There's one of my mates. He's now a lecturer at NAFTI, Gabi. He was an editor. He told me that Charlie, if he has to edit funeral, his computer keeps going on and off.
Because he's afraid of what?
I don't know. Like, he has this superstition that if he's editing funeral, the machine goes off. Like I said, me, if it goes off, I'll put it on.
you know, after the interview, I'd engaged my cameraman and asked them, really, would they do, what's the word they were saying? PJ,
yeah.
Would they do such a job? I will probably interview them a bit later. But
If
tell
you're
me,
broke,
so you have mentioned that you were an Uber or Bolt driver before. You've had to be a producer before. You're doing photography and all of that. And at some point, you dropped in slightly that you were washing dishes and all of that.
Yes.
Walk me through that experience.
So I was a waiter, and so there was this agency, and it's actually a very funny story. At that time, I was still teaching, and so I think, if I remember, Ghana at 50. Very well. My brothers were chilling, and then they called me that they wanted me to be a butler at La Palm. That time, Google was not common for me to Google what butler is. I thought the butler, you'd be opening the door, you take the bags with the people, you'd be flexing. I was happy, eh? So I went early. When I went early, they took me to some room that I should go and relax. I was like, oh, okay. Then they will give me my uniform. So I was waiting for a nice suit. And then, Charlie, that night they started taking me to the kitchen. I should go and watch bulls. I was like, hey, it's not butler, isn't me? I didn't know what the butler, honestly, I didn't know what the butler was.
You couldn't decline as well.
I'm already there. And I remember around 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., they had dinner at banquet hall. They brought 2 oven load. There were no chairs in the oven. That should show you how the load of the utensils they brought.
Adam, what kind of party? What did they go and cater for?
It was Ghana at 50.
All right.
So the Ghana at 50 dinner.
Yeah.
So the catering agency, I think La Palm catered for it. So the utensils were packed in a very big, like in an oven.
Yes.
With no seats.
Yes.
If there were seats, you say, oh, NAB and also.
Yes.
This one with no seats that piled up. And then that 1 a.m., 2 a.m., I was sitting outside washing the bowls.
Only you?
Yes, I think there were two people. So I was watching them to myself. I'm like, but I'm not from a poor home. My parents are police officers, at least small. So why am I worrying myself like this?
So what was driving you to do anything and everything at all? What was that drive?
I think I was just curious to want to try and get like something for myself, you know, not always to be asking my parents. So we'll go to my father's village, we'll go and get a lassa, and then I'll come and be carrying it all around the barracks, selling it. Not because my parents couldn't take care of me. My parents were very responsible, but I don't know, I just wanted to do stuff for myself. At a point, I was burning music on CD, selling it to people. There was a man selling CDs at Laboni Junction. People will come and tell him the music they want. I'll order. There was one man who is now, Akim, he's now with the IGP. He was very instrumental in the decor. When I was young, Charlie, I'll go do band music. We tell me high life. I'll do high life. I've done almost everything, Sam.
Right.
You know, and I believe that has led me to appreciate life and brought me to where I am right now. You know, so when I see, you know, people who come to me on page and I tell them, oh, Charlie, some way page and they look down upon it. I go like, it's an insult even to me because that's where I started.
Right.
It makes you appreciate the little things that life gives to you.
I can understand.
You know,
I
so
totally can understand. Let's take it back to the basis. So where were you born?
So I was born in Kumasi. When I was born, according to my auntie them, they said I had Koshoko.
Oh, why?
I don't know. But you know, my mom was a young police officer.
Why did they even tell you this?
I shocked myself. So when I look at the pictures of Koshoko and I look at myself, I'm like, no, it can never be true.
Okay, do you have siblings? Were you?
Yes.
Okay.
I have quite a lot of siblings. We are 6. Yes, we are 6. So there's
either
me,
last of it or you're...
I'm the first.
Oh,
yes,
so you have 5 others to be responsible to and for.
You know, so there's me, there's one policeman at Accra, Toba.
Okay.
Theophilus Nartey. There's Emmanuel Nartey. He's a sergeant in the UK Army.
Okay.
There's Samuel Nartey. He was a policeman who is now married his wife in America, so he's relocated. He's left the police. There's Victor Nartey, Kofi. You know, he's also in America. And then Sweetie, she's the only girl.
Oh,
So
is she the last?
She's the last one.
Oh my goodness.
You know, so she's also based in America.
Okay.
So most of my brothers, apart from Theophilus Nartey and I, the rest are all like.
Is your mom still alive?
My mom is still alive, very strong. You know, when you see her, you believe she's my mom. You know, she's supposed to go on pension either this month or by next month.
Okay.
So yes, she's lived a very gracious life as a police officer. She was we actually lost her dad about 11 years ago.
Oh. Okay.
And she's been super. She helped getting all my brothers outside. She even helped me get a job in the fire service.
Okay.
She worked tirelessly to help get me into the service. She you know, unlike some ladies that probably when their husbands die, their kids live a straight life or things fall apart. My mom did very well, holding all of us together. You know, and I'm very grateful.
Are you married yourself?
Yes, I'm married.
How many kids?
One.
One. Are you going to take after your father? Or you do more?
I'm weighing the economic situation. I'm weighing the economic situation to see, you know, but yeah, why not? If God blesses me with more, why not? You know.
Well, you're watching Personality Profile, and I hope that you didn't miss that big part of the conversation. But do stay with us. We go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll stay on the experiences he's had so far in his 5 years as a firefighter. Is it something he's looking to go to the extreme end with, or at some point he's going to be retiring? What are some of the really gory scenes that he has seen, or what are some of the things that he's been living with? And we all know that when there's a fire, you're most likely to call the firefighter, but who does the firefighter also call when they have some mental health issues, especially because of the things that they see? So do stay with us. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to Personality Profile, and oh my goodness, I hope you didn't miss this part of the conversation where he tells us about how he started the Ghana National Fire Service as a personnel and even other experiences that he's been through. And if you just joined us, we're talking to AD01 Alex King Nartey. You definitely see him a lot on the screen. You are likely to also see him when there's a fire happening somewhere, even in Accra or outside of Accra. So welcome back. Let's continue the story. So how has it really been for you this 5 years of being a firefighter?
It's been a mixed bag. It's been a mixed bag. I'll start from when I went to the training school. There were times that you look at the wall and you want to run away, because it's supposed to test your endurance, whether you really want it. And so yes, from the training school back to where I was doing my attachments, you know, when you are doing the attachments, you don't have a rank. So anybody no rank can insult you, can shout at you, hey, wait, Jimmy, right? Then they can insult you. But the moment you graduate and you have the rank, the next moment they see you, from that day, they have to start saluting you.
What does the AD01 mean? Okay,
so Assistant Division Officer 1.
Okay.
So that's equivalent to maybe a captain or a DSP.
Okay.
So that's like the second level at the senior officer corps.
Okay.
Yes. So
okay.
just
that was
like
so quick for you because of your qualifications that you entered with.
Yes. So there are people that would probably have been in the service for over 25 years who are not at this rank, because they started as junior officers.
So how can I tell if you are ADO? If I met another ADO1 and they're not telling me their title themselves, how can I identify them?
By the ranks. You see that these are called impellers.
Okay.
So these are found in the pump in the vehicle, in the appliance or the fire tender. So that's why we use them. So impellers. So if you see 3 impellers, it means that the person is an ADU1.
Okay.
2.5 impellers, or 2 big ones and 1 smaller one, is ADU2.
Okay.
So my next rank will be DO3.
Okay.
So then there will not be any A. Now it will just be DO3.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
yes. So from DO3, then DO2, then DO1, then ACFO2. So that one there, then you're going to the.
I know that you've been trained to fight fire. But fire is fire. Is it fun fighting fire?
It's the fun part is when you've been able to save lives or you've been able to help people and they are thanking you. That's the fun part. You know, when there are times you feel you fight fires when you are going. You see, so when I see people insulting us on air, I ask her, where are these people from? Because you fight fire when you are working. Oh yeah, that must you. Oh, Shamu. And then you go and then people are insulting you like and this is like
What are some of the things you think cause the insults? Is it that they don't understand the job or what?
Because
or they think you can do better.
Because you're under resourced. Maybe some of them think we have to have helicopters on the tenders so that when there's fire, then we get there right now. But they have to know that even with their own cars, driving in the traffic on the road, it's not easy. You know, so I believe if we are better resourced, hopefully the insults will go down. Funny enough, they keep insulting us. But if you come to my inbox, when are your forms coming out? When are your forms coming out? And like the last time we sold forms, all the services sold forms, people oversubscribe to the fire service forms than all the other forms. So if you're insulting us, why do you want to join us?
Maybe they're not the ones receiving the service. So they are not the ones insulting anyway.
See, almost every guy then is insulting us. I'm trying to be with you at a point. Maybe you that.
I hold you accountable.
Sure,
so
it
won't be an issue, but I like to hold you accountable. But again, if not for being a firefighter, share with me some of the memories that you'd rather not have.
Seeing people bent to ashes is one of the things I wish I wouldn't see in this job. The girls that got bent, it's artistly gone. I was closer to them like the way I am. I think I was even much closer than even the way I am with you. That's how close I was. Seeing them and they were bent and we were trying to get them out of the vehicle. So at a point I had to tell our guys, you know, doing the extrication, you know, because they were so bent and their skin, you know, the cushion seat was already gone. So the metal frame of the seat, their skin had melted on it. And so we had to be tactical in trying to detach the skin from the... So I had to tell our officers to cut the metallic frame of the seat. So I'll be able to take them out without having to force the bodies out. And there are times you go to an accident scene, there's an accident, people's heads are mashed. As you're raising them, particles of their heads are falling off the ground. People die, and it becomes heartbreaking for me when I go to accident scene and I see people with rings on. It means that they are fathers, they have dependents, and then I ask, what becomes of these people? You know, so those are things I wish I wouldn't have seen. But with where I find myself, I don't know. There are times that, you know, when I'm there, I look okay, but later when I'm alone, sometimes it hits me and I'm like, hey, Charlie. You go, you see, there's one I went, a lady was bent, you see intestines gushing out of hair. You go, people are bent, and then you wonder if it's a wood or it's a human being, because they are so bent beyond recognition. And then accidents. Then the accidents, I even say to myself that this could have been me. Because the most recent accident I went to was a lady. Apparently, Martin, your colleague at work, he said that was his cousin. A very pretty lady. She was driving. She didn't even do anything wrong. She was in traffic on the Pukwasi Highway. And one driver who was carrying roofing sheets was speeding, lost control of the vehicle, and he was descending also. So just mashed into her, killing her instantly. And we had to draw her out. And Charlie, these are things that, you know, I can talk about, but I wish I wouldn't have to see it.
When you're done with such, what I don't know what you call it, vacation or work at that particular time, and you get home, you say that when you're alone, it hits you and all. Does it affect you mentally?
I try not to let it affect me mentally. I try, because honestly, you go and you see things, and when I get home, I like to watch movies a lot. I like comedy a lot. Maybe because of, maybe that's my safe place. I like 2.5 Men, Big Bang Theory, How I Met Your Mother, Bob Hatsabishola, Friends. So I have all these downloaded. So when I'm sleeping, funny enough, when I keep my TV on, you know, with my laptop. It plays when I'm sleeping, and I think that's one of, therapeutically, that's what helps me. You know, it makes me laugh, and then it helps to keep that memory, you know, at the back of my head, but not, you know, when, you know, to come into thinking. Yeah, so I guess watching movies, I like to play video games a lot.
Okay.
So I play video games, and I think
you stay in that world, shielding yourself from
shielding
that.
myself.
So what's
so
your greatest fear in life?
Okay, so my fear, I'm scared of old age and death.
After shooting all the funerals and all,
so that should let you know that I'm
afraid.
scared of death, because I don't want to find myself in that position. So I'm scared of funerals. I'm scared of ants. When I'm walking and I see a lot of ants, I get goosebumps, and I'm scared of snakes.
For a firefighter, these are the things you're afraid of.
I'm telling you.
Death, ants, snakes. I hate snakes, by the way.
Thank you.
And you're not alone. He says thank you. You're not alone in that. Well, so in your line of work, as you've said, some of the things that really breaks your heart and all, what would be your greatest fear in your line of work?
My greatest fear is not to become a victim, like not to be called, not like for our people to call me in, like to come and like I don't want to be the next victim for our people. I don't want to be the next victim for our people. Meaning that I don't want to die, you know, through a building collapse. I don't want to die through an accident. I don't know. I'm actually scared of death. So anything that has to do with death.
Would it be because you have seen too many deaths?
Yes. Like seeing death, seeing what death does to people. I'm scared of death. An old age. You know, I wish I wouldn't grow old. You know, yes, honestly. Because when I see, you know, old men walking and then, you know, they are struggling to walk, I'm like, hey, so me too, one day I become like this.
Surely. I assure you that.
So that honestly, that's one of my fears.
Right. And so when you're not working, what would you be doing? Do you have well, you said you like watching movies, but do you play games?
Yes, I play video games. I
play
Grand Theft Auto, I play FIFA 24.
English, please. I don't understand those.
No, the men who know. You know, and then I like to once in a while, instead of just being at home, I like to still drive boats.
Okay.
I like to still drive boats once in a while when I'm less busy, because I'm like, after I'm home not doing anything. Why don't I just drive? And it's therapeutic for me. You get to meet people, and the boat driving helped me to know people. The rich people are very humble and calm. The poor people, arrogant. Hey.
How do you even tell that they are poor? How do you tell that they are poor?
It's a trend I've studied. The rich person will come and will be talking to you nicely, and say, and then they'll be very cool with you. The poor person sits in your car and they behave as if they bought the car for you. Hey! So it has helped. Driving like that has helped me to know people. So if I meet someone, I know if the person is rich or poor by the way they treat people. Poor people, I always say, no wonder God makes them poor. No, you see, that's as blunt as I can put it.
Probably I understand.
Because if God makes them rich, it means they'll treat people like trash. You know, so honestly, you know, so yes, I like to drive boats when I'm less busy.
Okay.
I like to watch movies and I like to play video games.
Okay.
Or like just go out take pictures.
I saw a picture or a video of you that I'm not sure if you had gone to fight fire, or there was an accident scene, but Tell me about it. You look tired. Which one of the operations was that?
I think that was the Cantamanto fire.
Oh, the recent one.
The recent one. I was there from 1:30 a.m.
What's the real challenge with Cantamanto?
Accessibility.
Okay.
There's no access route. So when we're fighting the fire, we couldn't get to like really inside the fire scene because like there were no spaces there. So we had to take our appliances to the all the way to the commercial bank, run hoses over the wall to be able to fight fires inside there.
I see.
That was a challenge.
Two places I'm curious. Where were you when you heard about the East Legon accident? And I'm so sorry, this interview is not to remind the families who have lost their loved ones in that accident. But where were you? And for the Cantamanto as well, where were you? Okay,
so for the East Legon one, I was then going, Obi, your colleague Obi, Asempa.
Yes.
His birthday, after he had passed the bar, he had graduated from the bar and he was doing his birthday party. I shot the videos and pictures.
I see.
For the whole event. So I was supposed to get there. So my other colleague Fred had got there and I was supposed to go. So as I was going, then I had the communication that they had an accident in East Legon. I was running late for Obi's program too, but I was like, split second. You see, that's where passion comes in. Split second. I was not, like, I could have chosen not to go, but split second, I was like, okay, let me just go and see the situation and then rush to the fire.
You could have chosen not to go because you were not on duty.
Most of the time I've been at these fire scenes, I'm never on duty.
Ah.
I'm never on duty. Okay. It's supposed to be like when I close, but
okay.
I work 24/7. When I hear of any major fire, then I go. So I just went there. When I went there, the scene was serious, and then so I was even late at Obi's program.
So it was when you got there before you called your colleagues for reinforcement,
no. So our colleagues had got there. Our colleagues had got there that they were at an accident scene, standby. So as I was driving going to Obi's place, I realized that they had kept long. They were not there, and then I heard them saying that police assistance needed. So I knew that this would be serious. So when they said East Legon, I knew where I was going to shoot was also around East Legon. So I was like, okay, let me try and go there and see the situation. So I got there and then it was bad. It was bad.
And then the Cantamanto. Was it a picture or a video?
A picture.
It was a picture.
Yes.
Maybe I take a look at that picture now, right? Okay.
I was so tired because our crew got there around 1:20 and by 1:30 I was there. I was sleeping. So when they realized that they got there and they were like, make pump 2. So in fire service, the way we get to know if a fire is serious is by the number of fire tenders that are called into the scene.
Okay.
So if the crew get to the scene, they relay on the walkie-talkie that fire well alight, make pump 2, make pump 3, make pump 4, make pump 5, make pump 6. It means actually it's a very serious that we need 5, 6, 7 fire tenders to get to the scene. That means that it's a very big fire.
Right.
So when I heard it, I was actually sleeping. One of my guys called Swansea. He called me, 1 second, to Cantamanto. I just woke up like a mad person. I just woke up in the dress I was sleeping in. I just took the tunic, wore it, and I was there from 1:30 a.m. all through on my feet till I think 2 p.m. So the only time I came was go home, bath, and come for an interview at Asempa FM. I could see saying I was tired, being on my feet, inhaling the smoke, granting interviews, everyone coming, they want to know, trying to control the narrative so that people do not send the wrong information out there, so it was exhausting. Having to even, I always have to participate even in the operational, the operational command, because it was when I got there that I realized the fire was well alight, was getting out of hand. I told the officer in charge that, look, call the control room, tell them that all stations in Accra should be at the fire scene.
Interesting.
So so before our commanders got there, that's the recommendation I give them that, look, this fire, let's call all appliances in Accra to come. So we had to call almost all the appliances in Accra and even Tema to come. And another experience I'll not forget is when a woman was going to all night, and she said the daughter is promiscuous. She locked the daughter and another daughter in a room and went to all night, and there was fire. So when we go to the scene, the children were all like behind the door like this, burnt to ashes. The thing, so you see, firefighters are human. So when people are insulting them, they should be mindful. Yes, we are human. You can insult us, but we see things. You know, if you insult us and you die, we'll come and carry your body.
Anyway, thank you for sharing your story. We can't be here and not learn a thing or two. So right now, though, I'm happy because I'm going to be going on a tour around here. I'll learn a thing or two, which I will be teaching you as well. So come along, come with me.
So in Ghana, one of the major concerns is that when there is an accident, really, you and I are likely to call the police. But the education has been for some time now that do call the fire service, because that should be your first point of port of call. And so today we want to demonstrate to you, if there is an accident anywhere or everywhere, and you get the opportunity, make an attempt to want to call the fire service. And if you do, here is what it will look like when they come. Now, ADO 1 Alex King Nartey, tell me what this is. But first, let me introduce my new guest. Really, I've just made some 2 new friends. I've got Station Officer Nyedu here, and I've also got ADO 2 Money. I definitely remember that
So
name.
from 2, then you come to 1.
Oh, well, we'll be waiting when you get to 1. Okay, tell us what.
Okay, so this is a cutter. You know, so during accidents, these are used during extrication. So when we don't just go to just any accidents, the accidents we attend to are accidents where human lives are involved, where people are trapped.
Okay.
You know, it depends whether the person is dead or alive. It's our job, because then if the person is alive, the way you might pull the person might end up killing the person or further damaging the person for life. So it's important that you leave it for us, because if the person's legs are trapped or the person is trapped in a vehicle, pulling the person can even worsen the situation. So that is where we come in with this cutter. We have another tool in the combi tool. That one can spread, that one can cut. So this one can spread, so it can create a space,
Okay.
you know, to be able to get someone out. So we'll demonstrate for you to see how it's used.
Okay.
So that, you know, yeah, when there's an accident, you know the reason why you should call us.
The Ghana National
Exactly.
Fire Service. Okay. That must be heavy.
Very heavy. So that's why I always say that for those who think they can abuse fire service officers, our strengths are in our hands. Look at the thing he's holding.
Yeah.
If he should slap you, you collapse. So no fire service officer is weak. We are very strong. When make today, you go feel their hand very good. So you see, so in a case where the accident has happened and the door is trapped, like the door is shut closed, you can't pull it.
Okay.
This helps to create the space for it to be able to open up. So that's what it's doing.
Well, it requires a lot of patience.
Exactly. No, you see, that's how it is, because it's a gradual thing. It just can't, and it's powered. It's hydraulic powered, so it has to go through and then gently open it. You know. So once it opens, you see, and it can cut. So as it's coming close, you can use it to cut the door and then get someone out.
Take somebody
Yes.
out of it.
We have more tools that we use. This is also here.
Oh, this is also like that one.
Yes, but I realize that this has different jaws from that one.
Let me see if I can.
Okay. They are strong.
Okay.
We're going to come and try this.
So you hold here and hold here.
So you see.
Then you shut it like.
So you see. So you see how strong a fireman should be.
Wow.
And you see, as firefighters, you are trained in every aspect, because you don't know where you find yourself. You can find yourself in the rescue team, or you can find yourself in the firefighting team. So when there's an accident, this is used to create space between the dashboard and the person.
Oh.
So at the front, if the dashboard of the car has trapped the person, this is used to stamp and open up space between the person and the dashboard or the frontage. So you see, it's also powered by this. So you see, so let's say there's an accident, and then as a result of the collision, the front has come and the person is trapped.
Yeah.
You can't pull the person out and you can't open it. So it's mounted like this. So a part is mounted down at where the legs are, and the part also under the dashboard. And then it is used to open. You see. So you see, then it's able to create a space, open a space so that you can be able to gently and carefully take the person out of the accident situation.
Oh.
So now you see the reason why she got the fire service.
Yes.
So we are the service that's mandated with rescue. That's why we have this rescue. So it comes out to create as many spaces as a big space as possible, so that you can gently and easily take someone out. And you see, it goes as far as this.
Thank you so much. ADO2 Money, my favorite name for the day. And then I've also got Station Officer Nyedu. Thank you so much.
So no matter how big the car
wow.
is, yes, no matter how big the car is, no matter how big the car is, it can create, it can create a space.
This one will dispatch water.
Yes.
Okay.
So even when the vehicle is parked,
there's water in there. So what, you take it to go and fill the water, or
so your hydrants will have,
okay.
You see, the akatas will have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway.
And this carries like, I think 3,000 gallons of water.
At least you can do something before the others.
Yeah, no, this is a very big tank. This is a very big tank. It's a very, very big tank.
Well, I'm sure that you have enjoyed the show today. We came to know ADO1 Alex King Nartey a lot more better, and even get closer to him to get to know who really he is beyond the uniform. But lucky for us, we get to understand how things are done when there is a fire, and even when there's an accident, what you should do and why you should do that. It's been a pleasure coming your way with this episode, and thank you so much.
Sure. Maybe people think we don't have water. Please, let's check if we have water.
Well, for the record, today they have enough water. Thank you for watching. Bye.